Yeah. Morning, everyone. Today we are going to talk about two array methods. It's array sum and array every. So these are two array methods. They're not as popular as other array methods that we've used surely in this bootcamp, or they're not as widespread and as other array methods such as map or filter, which were introduced at the same time, which was during ECMAScript 5 2009. But I thought it would be interesting to have a run through these, even if they're a little bit more obscure, and also find the useful for them. When I run a presentation, I normally run through the agenda, but I would like to build up the agenda as we go along. So I don't want to give away too much, and I would like to get you involved during the workshop and make it interactive. And I would like to start with a problem. Okay, so we have let's say a data set, an array for simplicity. Obviously, we're talking about array method, so we're going to assume it's an array. And we want to understand if any of the elements within the array meets a specified condition. And we want to have as an output a sort of binary answer, so a true or false type of answer. Now, I wrote here this function. Are there negative numbers? So if we wanted to execute this function and we want to find out if there are actually any negative numbers within this array, can you think of a way we can approach this solution? Any method you'd want to use? Find, okay, good. Filter, perfect, okay. So let's start with filter. And so what we're going to do is we're going to write this function, and we're going to pass as an argument numbers. Okay. Now that we have written this one, how? Oops. Okay. So what shall we do? What should we put here? So should we return, right? Yeah. Then numbers dot filter, right? Okay. Then what do we do? Yeah. So we introduce the callback function and we pass number as a parameter. We use a nice arrow function. And then do we want to return? Okay, return number is, so we said we want to find out if there are any negative numbers. So is it greater or lower? Lower, right? Okay, lower than 0. Perfect. Okay, so what will this return? So since we want to get a true or false, will this give us a true or false type of answer, or it will return, sorry? An array with a negative number, right? Perfect. Okay. So how can we tweak this function so that we get a true or false type of answer? Map, or staying with filter? Can you think of? And just using filter, how can we? What else can we introduce to get a true or false type of output? Length. Okay. Thank you, Vilius. So we can say length. We were suggesting, sorry?
We can put, I don't know, if condition?
Yeah, so like, maybe a ternary operator, would it work? Yeah? Shall I say...
Length, if it's above 0, yeah, it's true.
Yeah? Above 0, sorry. 0. And then we say true, right? Or false, right? Sorry, it's okay. Okay, so let's check what this will return. So first of all, we'll See the output? True. Okay, so effectively there is a negative number here, -2. So the algorithm is working as expected. Now, if we introduce a couple of breakpoints here, what would you say is the execution order of this function? Ricardo authorized me to give out 100 points today. Just kidding. He will kill me afterwards.
That means we're all...
Okay, you'll get 100 Luigi's points. So, what would you say is the execution order of this function? 11, 5, 6, right. Who disagrees with 11, 5, 6? 11, 5, 6? Okay, let's try.
Well, don't try yet.
Yeah?
Everyone thinks it's 11, 5, 6, really?
Sorry?
No, before you try, sorry for interruption.
Yeah.
No one disagrees with 11, 5, 6? That means everyone accepts that as valid solution? Are you sure? Maybe 4.
The 4 is not one of the breakpoints. Okay, let me rephrase this. So 11, 5, 6. Okay, let's say that's the order that you agree on. Okay. After 11 is gone through, 5 is done, 6 is done. Sorry. Well, actually, let's step back. So let's go back to filter. What does filter do? So we said it filters.
It iterates through the array.
Yeah, thank you, Nico.
Checks every item.
Yeah.
Matches the condition on.
Okay. So it iterates, right? So, and does it iterate through the whole array or? Yeah. Okay. So how many times do you think it will go through, it will check the condition number lower than 0? 3 times, right? So can we say that maybe the execution order is 11, 5, 5, 5, and 6? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, sorry, I was maybe a bit cryptic in my question, but thanks, Nico, for pointing that out. So, okay. First breakpoint, 11. Second breakpoint, 5. So we are here, first iteration. So what number is this? So it's number 1, yeah? Okay. So if I hit this one, what number will be? -6. Okay, so we see the return is false because obviously 1 is not a negative number. Okay. So yeah, this is the second iteration, -2. It will check the condition. And this returns true, okay? So at this point, potentially we already have our answer, right? But what filter does, as Nico pointed out, it iterates through all the elements of the array. So in fact, it goes to the third number as well, so number 6, and verifies that this is false. And then just at this point, it goes to the next line, number 6. Okay. So my point here was that I wanted to demonstrate that with filter we can obtain this result. But let's say that we have a huge array, and maybe like we have a negative number just at the beginning. What will happen? It will iterate through all the numbers in the array. And obviously, the execution time will be longer, and the cost of execution will be higher.
I have a question at this point.
Yes?
If I'm not interrupting your flow.
No, please.
Use find
Yeah.
instead of filter.
Yeah.
Would find go through the whole array as well?
Actually, this perfectly fit my agenda. So thanks for introducing that. That's what I wanted to go next, in fact. Okay, let's try with find. Let's see what happens if we use find. Okay. So instead of, let's get rid of this bit in here. So if we had to modify this to have find, can you suggest what we should do? Any changes?
Filter to find.
Perfect. Yeah. Everyone agrees with this? Yeah. Okay. Right. If I leave the function as it is, what will it return? Minus 2, right? Okay. Because find returns the first element meeting the condition set out in the callback function. Okay. If none of the elements meet the condition, what is the result of find? Everyone? Anyone? False? So is it a truthy or falsy? Falsy, okay. Exactly? What would it be? Anyone? Shall we run it and see what happens? Sorry? No? Okay, I won't give you the answer. I will let the dev tool speak. Okay, so I will press enter. Undefined. Okay? Is undefined truthy or falsy? Falsy, right, okay. So if we want to tweak the array, the function, and adapt it to obtain the same result we're obtaining with the filter, how should we change it?
Sorry, can you say?
Yeah, absolutely. So looking at the function as it is, what we want to have as an output is a true or false output, exactly as we were doing with filter. How should we change the function? The 100 points have become 95. Yeah, so what should I write? Land. Question mark, okay. So do we need undefined? Can we use true or false?
I would use exclamation mark before the numbers.
Okay. Let's stick to the ternary. Probably it will be clearer and easier to see. But thanks, Walter. So, okay, now we're putting, if we were to put a ternary as it is, so the result within, between return and, the old function, is it going to be a truthy or a falsy?
There is going to be true.
In this case,
A true or I would type
true,
true.
like this,
Yes, then no false.
right, like this, okay. Everyone agrees with Walter, or shall I say anyone disagrees with Walter? Okay, let's run it. Okay, so it's false. In fact, there are no negative numbers here. If we try with -2, we should get true, okay? So what is the difference between this and filter? Do you think is, Bucket suggested initially to go through find. Do you think it's more efficient, less efficient than filter? More efficient, right? Okay. Why do you think it's more efficient?
I think if you're looking for true or false,
Mm-hmm.
finding the first value will give you that, so find is better. But if you want to extract all the numbers that meet the condition
Yeah.
and get the results that are as an array, then you need to use filter.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, in this case, what we want is a true or false, and why is it more efficient?
Because you will stop possibly, unless it's the last element in the array, you will stop before iterating through the whole array. So if it's the first in the array, it will be super quick.
Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly the point I wanted to make on this. In fact, if we put some breakpoints here, so we have the number that we want to stop at, just in the middle. I mean, I put a short array just for sake of simplicity and time. But yeah, as Nico said, imagine this is a big array, and you have the number meeting your condition just at the beginning. So as you can see, what the execution points are obviously 11, so 5. Then what will happen is this going to give us a true or false value, the first iteration, false. Okay, so when it meets false, what find does? Keeps iterating, perfect. So, okay, -2, okay. This is true, yeah. Execution, perfect. And it will give us our value, true, perfect. Okay. Now, this kind of like I've been building up until now because I wanted to introduce, sum as an alternative to this. So sum performs exactly this operation. It returns a true or false output. So it's a method that passes a callback function. The callback function supports obviously 3 arguments. So one argument is obviously the element of the array, and 2 optional arguments, the index and the array, which we won't need now, but just mentioning it there. And the return value of that array is true or false. Also, semantically, I think that sum is probably also easier to grasp. You won't have to play like mental tricks to like distinguish, as we did, between splice and slice, for instance. Is much more I think intuitive to grasp. So if we were to use sum, the syntax would be, as you can see, much simpler. It's certainly much more advantageous to filter, because what sum will do is it will iterate through the array, and it will stop as soon as the condition that is defined in the callback function is met. So if we insert some breakpoints in here, I think I need to save this. Okay. So any suggestion in terms of the execution order with sum? So Lucia said 11, 4, 5, 5. Everyone agrees? 11, 5, 5, 4. Okay. That's Walter. Okay. Let's run it. So 11, 4, 5, and then 5 again. And then it returns the value. So 11, 4, 5, 5. So as you can see, like the condition line has been iterated twice. So the function has been executed 2 times until it had found the relevant number, which is -2. So yeah, do you have any questions on sum?
How is it different than find in this case?
So, as I said, it's simpler in terms of syntax, because you don't have to introduce any ternary operator afterwards, because your return value is straight away a true or false value. Instead, with find, your return value is going to be either undefined if none of the elements meet the condition, or the element. So it depends what you are after. If you are after the element, certainly find is what you want to use. If you are after a true or false, sum is that more fit for purpose. And in terms, obviously, of convenience and execution time compared to filter, it presents the obvious advantage that it will stop the execution while filter will carry on. So, so the agenda today will include sum and will also include every. Now, every is going to be very simple to understand because it works exactly as sum. The only difference is that while sum will return a true or false value if any of the elements of the array meets the condition, every differentiates itself for the fact that all the elements of the array need to meet the condition. Okay? So imagine that you have a set of numbers and you want to understand, let's say, in this case would be, are they all negative or are they all positive? Well, so it is, you can compare it to filter in terms of iteration process, as in it will iterate through all of the array, similarly to filter, but the output, the return value, while filter will produce an array of filtered results, the result of this is going to be again a true or false value. Okay? So imagine that this is a set of numbers, and what we want to find out is if all of these numbers are multiple of 3. Now I will again need your help to build a function. Now this time we will build it using every. Given what we have seen for sum, how shall we start building function? Okay. So given what we have seen for sum, how shall we build the syntax of this function?
Array or numbers?
Numbers, okay, thank you. Okay, we want to return, okay, numbers, every, perfect. Yeah, number, yeah, sorry, return, yeah, yeah, okay, so modulo 3, yeah, 0, perfect. Let's see if it works. Okay. Yeah, thank you. And let's pay attention to the indentation. Okay, so let me actually clear the console log here. Okay, true. 12, 27, 30, 45, 51, 66. They all seem multiple of 3, and the function is working as it meant to. So, shall we have a look at the execution order? So we'll put a breakpoint here at 13, breakpoint at 5, okay. So let's see how these iterate. So we said it iterates through every element of the array. Okay, let's see if the first iteration. So it will start from line 13, then it will go to line number 5. So first iteration 12, return value is true. Second iteration 27, return value true. 30, I will go faster here, 45, 51, 66. So you can see it going through, and then it goes to the next line to finish the execution and returns the true value. So as you can see, in about 25 minutes, you learn sum and every. Thanks for helping me to build this function. Now, if we wanted, since I would like to, make a circular workshop. We started from filter. I would like also to close with filter. If we want to use filter to replicate this function, what would you change? Okay. Right. What shall we put here? The end of the expression. Values before suggested dot length, right? Yeah.
You can use dot length and you can compare it to numbers array length.
Okay.
Length.
Yeah.
Because if you return and the filtered one is the same one,
Okay.
same length, so that's true.
So shall we see if it's the same as
Has only
you're saying
one. Dot
numbers dot length? Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So can we use a ternary operator here? Yeah? So we want to say, if it's the same length, is it true or false? True. Okay. Otherwise it's false, right?
Actually, can you remove the ternary?
Yeah.
You don't even need it. No, the length. Yeah.
Length.
That's it.
Oh wait, actually condition will return. Yeah, that's unnecessary.
The condition is true thing. You want to
Or
control
it's going to be false if it's
Okay.
shorter.
Yeah. True. Okay.
And if you change the array,
So if we change.
You need to close on the snippet.
All right. Okay. This is the. Okay. So let's say that this number is 53 instead. And it returns false. So it works. But as you can see, I wanted to go back to filter to show you that, you have to introduce an extra line of code, and which is, strictly speaking, not necessary given the fact that you have, a solution which is fit for this purpose. So, do you have any questions, guys? We are coming to the end of our 30-minute session. Any comments? Okay, so I will do my quick recap. So we've seen, we started from a problem. The problem is how can we have as an output a binary answer, a yes or no type of answer, true or false specifically, where we want to ascertain whether within a data set some numbers or any of the numbers, or alternatively all of the numbers, meet a condition, and we've seen how we can use filter or find to achieve that goal, but also we have concluded that obviously using sum and every, we would have certainly a fit for purpose solution, which is lighter in terms of code and optimized in terms of execution process. These both sum and every return a true or false value, and they rely on a callback function which passes as an argument each element of the array, or also as option arguments the index and the array. That is all from me. Thank you very much for participating in the workshop and helping out. Thanks for the